Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel this evening. I hope you are doing fantastically well. Now before we get started, I just want to say to you that this is not a paranormal investigation. Instead, this is something I've wanted to do for quite some time, probably since I first started the channel up. This is a history video. So hopefully for all of you that do enjoy our investigations, I hope that you can get on board and enjoy this content too. Before we delve into the history and the subjects that we will be talking about, I just want to say a massive thank you to Bristol Paranormal Hunters for allowing us to use your footage from when we visited this place. So without further ado, let's get started. Tilstone House is a majestic neo-Tudor mansion which was built in 1888. It has stood a testament to aristocratic elegance and architectural grandeur for over 130 years. It was originally commissioned by the old Etonian baronet, Sir Gilbert Greenall, later the first Baron Desbury. Tilstone House was designed primarily as a hunting lodge, but built on the scale of a grand country house. Its history is rich with stories of entertainment, social gatherings, and esteemed residents. The origins of Tilstone House start with the Greenall family's rise to prominence. The Greenall family's wealth came from the brewery founded by Thomas Greenall in St Helens in 1762. Sir Gilbert Greenall, first baronet, managed this prosperous business which extended to the St Helens Canal and Railway Company and Parr, Lyons and Greenall Bank in Warrington. A respected JP for Lancashire and Cheshire, Sir Gilbert passed away at Tilstone House, underscoring his attachment to the estate. His son, Gilbert Greenall, succeeded him and further established the estate's prominence. Known later as the first Baron Desbury, he was a prominent figure in Cheshire. An old Etonian, Gilbert was a lieutenant in the Life Guards and served as High Sheriff of Cheshire in 1907. In 1927, he was elevated to the peerage as the first Baron Desbury in Walton. Sir Greenall was a renowned huntsman. He was master of the Belvoir foxhounds and deeply involved with the Cheshire Hunt, of which our current king was a patron. His leadership and philanthropic efforts in the business world further cemented the Greenall family's status in aristocratic circles. Under his stewardship, Tilstone House became synonymous with lavish aristocratic entertainment. Tilstone House was a masterclass in neo-Tudor design, with a timber-framed facade reflecting the style of renowned Cheshire country houses. The south front was dominated by an octagonal tower topped by a spire, complemented by a first-floor balcony. The modern west wing, expertly copied from the original, culminates a tower and spire matching the main block. The west entrance front presents a romantic version of a Tudor past, featuring a gabled turret in rich barge boards with Tudor roses and a lavishly carved main door bordered by perpendicular Gothic-inspired windows. The intricate details of the house include lavishly carved main door and simplified chimney stacks that was rebuilt at some point in its history. Now, I did find more on the architecture, but I didn't want to put it in, otherwise I just feel like I'm rambling on. By 1901, Tilstone House had become the residence of Major Frederick Howard Wingfield Featherstone and his wife Beatrice, a granddaughter of the first Baron Wolverton. Major Featherstone came from an illustrious lineage, being a great-grandson of the 3rd Earl of Wicklow and a descendant of an old Irish landowning family. His military career saw him rise to the rank of major in the Cameronians, and he served as an extra enquiry to King George V, managing His Majesty's thoroughbred stud. The Featherstone House brought their aristocratic connections and lifestyle to Tilstone House. Their household included a butler, footman, hallboy, housekeeper, lady's maid, nurse, nursery maid, cook, kitchen maid, scullery maid, and 2 housemaids, showcasing the grandeur of their living. Oh, how the final half live, hey. By 1911, they also employed a Swiss governess, emphasising their commitment to maintaining an aristocratic lifestyle. The Featherstone House likely contributed to the expansion of the house, including the addition of the library, reflecting their need for sophisticated and elegant living spaces. In the 1920s, Mrs. Mary Emma Dempster, widow of John Dempster of Keel Hall in Staffordshire, acquired Tilstone House. The Dempsters, an old Scottish family, became millionaires through the gas industry. John Dempster's father founded the company in Elland, Yorkshire in 1855 and was one of the earliest members of the British Association of Gas Managers. The Dempsters were known for their connections in high society, moving among aristocracy and maintaining a series of grand residences, including Drumsine House in Lochie Head, Methen Castle in Perth, and Keel Hall in Staffordshire. They also owned a yacht, the Vol-au-Vent, with which James Dempster won the Heligoland yacht race in 1903, defeating the German Emperor. Well, I can imagine he was too thrilled with that. And receiving a silver cup from Kaiser Wilhelm II. Mary Dempster continued the tradition of aristocratic living at Tilstone House, though she did not hunt herself. Her granddaughters, however, enjoyed the sport with the Cheshire Hunt. Her eldest granddaughter, Barbara Hayward, later Perry, became the longest-serving Lady Master of Foxhounds in Britain with the Albrighton Hunt. Her son, Charles Dempster of Coleshaw Hall, Cheshire, and his daughters, Helen and Margaret Langford Brooke, were also avid hunters. Mary Dempster household included a secretary maid, cook, housekeeper, housemaids, chauffeur and coachman, maintaining higher standards of domestic service expected in such a grand estate. The grounds were meticulously cared for by a team of gardeners and groundskeepers. One of the most intriguing connections to Tilstone House is through Edith Pretty, née Dempster, Mary Emma Dempster's niece. Edith Pretty, who regularly visited her aunt at Tilstone House, is best known for her significant role in one of the most famous archaeological discoveries in Britain, the Sutton Hoo ship burial. Born into the affluent Dempster family, Edith was well educated and widely travelled. She married Frank Pretty in 1926, and they moved to Suffolk, where they purchased the estate at Sutton Hoo. Following Frank's death, Edith became increasingly interested in the large mounds on her property, which local legends suggested were ancient burial sites. Driven by curiosity and a sense of historical preservation, she hired archaeologist Basil Brown to investigate. Edith Pretty's connection to Tilstone House and the Dempster family underscores the family's deep involvement in British history and high society. Her archaeological pursuits at Sutton Hoo brought her lasting fame, and her contributions to historical preservation are still celebrated today. The treasures unearthed at Sutton Hoo are now housed in the British Museum, where they continue to captivate and educate the public. Edith Pretty's story adds a fascinating layer to the history of Tilstone House, linking it to one of the most significant archaeological finds in Britain. The next notable residents of Tilstone House were the Winterbottoms, Oscar Dunstan Winterbottom, son of millionaire bookcloth manufacturer George Harold Winterbottom of Horton House in Northamptonshire, moved into the estate. The Winterbottoms were well integrated into Cheshire society and were passionate about hunting. Oscar Winterbottom's dedication to equestrian pursuits was so strong that he began to hunt side saddle when arthritis affected his leg. Mrs. Winterbottom, active in local societies, served as the vice president of the Cheshire Bookkeepers Association, and Tilstone House often hosted their meetings. The Winterbottoms' tenure at Tilstone House reinforced its status as a hub for social and sporting activities in Cheshire. In 1997, new owners purchased Tilstone House and undertook extensive restoration efforts. Their work, praised for keeping to the original design, earned the house regional and national quality standards awards in 2003. This restoration maintained the house's historical integrity while incorporating modern luxuries, seamlessly blending old and new elements. However, the grandeur of Tilstone House met a tragic end with the fire on January the 12th, 2020, caused by an electrical fault. The blaze, which required 90 firefighters and took 4 days to extinguish, severely damaged the mansion. Despite restoration efforts and redevelopment plans, the fire marked a significant loss for Cheshire's architectural heritage. Now, I do apologise if there's any mistakes through that, guys. Obviously, this is a first trialing run. Nonetheless, I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you another time on Paranormal on the Go. Please remember to hit that like button, comment for me, share, and please subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free to do so. Good night.